Muses of Mythology is a spoiler-heavy podcast.
That's an understatement.
We're going to discuss not just the events of this book, but the Riordanverse as a whole, and really anything that we feel is relevant. You can find full spoiler warnings in the show notes.
Listen, and it's good that we're recording this episode late at night for all of us, because it would be crazy to record the Khonsu episode during the day.
I know, right?
He wouldn't be able to see it.
He wouldn't be able to see it! Welcome to Muses of Mythology, a podcast where we explore how ancient myths become part of modern pop culture through the lens of Riordan's The Kane Chronicles. This is story 122, Khonsu. I'm your co-host and podcasting muse, Darien Smarch. Joining me is my co-host and brother, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? I'm DJ the Muse, and I've been playing a lot of the Arkham series recently. I've beat
how's that going?
Asylum. Pretty good. Had a fun time with Asylum. I started City, and then I'm like, okay, I'm a little done with this right now, so I'm going to get back to it later. Who knows when that's going to be.
So what are you playing now?
I don't know. I tried Hardguard, but it wouldn't let me fucking launch a game.
Damn, okay, let's just muse around the garden for a minute. We'll be right back. Okay, DJ, we are back for the episode that will be coming out the week of my birthday. And you may have noticed I didn't say Anubis.
Yeah, Darren got sick.
I got sick. And so the notes for that one
ill.
didn't get done. I did get ill. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Nothing serious.
It
just
happens.
too EP to function.
Yeah.
But what it does mean is that we are finally here. It is finally time for the Khonsu episode, which means we are finally joined by Tim and AJ from the Standby Line podcast. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Back by popular demand, apparently.
Back by threat.
I am inside your walls.
I didn't even get, like, a proper warning on this one. Tim just told me, hey, I threw our names in for the Khonsu episode. Then, like, 2 weeks ago, he's like, hey, we're doing Khonsu.
And that happens every now and again when I'm with Darren, so.
Oh,
That happened with this episode. I didn't even realize we were recording tonight. So.
I absolutely told you we were recording tonight multiple times. I
don't remember
definitely
these.
did.
You never told me today. So I was hanging out at Johnny's until like
I know
literally
you were.
30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I looked up and I finally was like, I think DJ forgot. And even our roommate was like, hey, does DJ know you're recording tonight? Because I'm sitting on my bed doing the research. And I'm like, yeah, I just texted him. He's on his way back.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. And we're going to talk about the moon. Now, Tim, AJ, why are you here?
Well, this was just one I requested because, like, once we get to pop culture interpretations outside of the Kane Chronicles themselves, Khonsu really doesn't get a lot of pop culture acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Really just one big one that it had to be us.
Yes, so we will get to that. But first, and usually this is a thing I throw at our guests, but I'm pretty sure neither of you have actually read the Kane Chronicles books. So,
Absolutely.
DJ, what do you remember about Khonsu in the Kane Chronicles series?
He stole Bess's ba.
He did.
He didn't steal it, but Bess wagered it and sacrificed himself. He's a right bastard, but we love him for it because he's just a jackass that you can't hate but love.
It is actually, DJ, it's his Ren. We get that confused all the time. It's the Ren.
There's like 6 different soul names, so
yeah.
What do you want
So-
from me? Okay, I'm trying.
No, you're good. You're fine. So Khonsu specifically appears in the second book of the Throne of Fire, right after they have obtained Ra. Hooray! But it took them too long, and now they have entered the house of Osiris, so they get to see their mom and dad. Yay! But they were on a time limit where they can only enter through each house of the Duat of the underworld at a specific time. And now it's too late and they can't get out, which means they aren't going to get back to the world of the living by dawn, which is where they needed to get out in time to stop an attack that was going to be launched on the Brooklyn house. So everything is terrible, but it's okay because Khonsu showed up and he's like, hey, I can give y'all some moonlight. You want to play for it? And I just need to read the description of Khonsu.
Everything is terrible, but it's okay because Khonsu is here. Has to be a sentence that hasn't been said in at least 50 years.
Yeah.
He looked about, so this is from Carter's POV. He looked about 20, tall and thin, and kind of glamorous. His face was totally human, but his irises were silver. His head was shaven, except for a glossy black ponytail on one side of his head, like an ancient Egyptian youth used to wear. His silvery suit looked to have been tailored in Italy. I only know that because Amos and my dad both paid a lot of attention to suits. The fabric shimmered like some sort of bizarre mix of silk and aluminum foil. His shirt was black and collarless, and several pounds of platinum chains hung around his neck. The biggest piece of bling was a silver crescent amulet. When his fingers drummed on the back of my chair, his rings and platinum Rolex flashed. If I'd seen him in the mortal world, I might have guessed he was a young Native American billionaire casino owner. But here in the duat, with that crescent-shaped amulet around his neck, ... And then Ra calls him Moon Pie because Ra is not himself at the moment, and he is Khonsu. He gave me a wolfish grin, looking at me as if I were an appetizer. At your service, he said. Care to play a game? And our buddy Bess is not happy to see him.
A very uncommon occurrence for Khonsu.
Also, I just want to say, suits is just one of the many hobbies a man can get into. There are multiple paths a man can take, and suits is one of them for hobbies.
That is one of the 5 male interests. Yes.
What are the other 4?
Oh, that's a
Computer,
secret.
cars, guns.
Oh.
No, we can't give away everything, folks.
Meanwhile, DJ, here you go. I keep
have to
nothing to
maintain-
myself.
Look,
Some-
dude, you could look at a guy and be like, "Hey, you're either into computers, cars, guns, women, or suits." Like, I
As a hobby?
yeah, typically,
Okay. I'm moving away from this conversation now.
might
Probably
move
fast.
women away out of that and put in like Legos or models.
Smart. DJ, smart move. Good job. Good job, buddy.
I would say
Way
we
to
haven't
identify.
mentioned the Roman Empire, but the whole point about that is that all men think about Roman Empire all the
Yeah.
time. So
Which is like
Think
an
about a
underlying
conquest
program.
of sorts.
So, the reason Bess doesn't like Khonsu specifically is that Khonsu claims that, quote, poor Bess gambled with me ages ago, you see. He wanted more time with Bast. He wagered a few feet of his height, and I'm afraid he lost. That's not what happened, Bess roared. And we don't ever get any clarification on if that's what happened or not, but okay, man. Bess claims that the real reason... Sorry, DJ.
Best wagered a couple inches, but Khonsu took them from the wrong place.
God damn it. He said couple feet.
Well, okay, then Best wagered a couple feet, and Khonsu took them from the wrong place. Bess is hung like a horse, but he's short as shit. Bess is, what is it? 6'11". 2 different measurements.
Okay, so moving on. So we get the real reason Bess is super not jazzed to see Khonsu is that, well, because Khonsu's like, hey, I'll gamble the moon. Surely you've heard of, I'm the moon god, but I have some influence over time. I can lengthen or shorten the lives of mortals. Even gods are affected by my powers. He talks about how Newt gambled with him to get more days of the year when Ra forbade her from being allowed to give birth to her children when she was pregnant. And that's how we have the demon days where the Osiris, Isis, Nephthys, and Set and Horus.
I believe it's Horus.
Yeah, it's Horus.
Horus here,
Were
yeah.
born at the end of the year. That one always throws me off, but it is Horus. And then Bess is not into this. He's like, don't do it, Carter. You know what they say about Khonsu in the old days? Some of the pyramids have a poem about him carved into their stones. It's called the Cannibal Hymn. For a price, Khonsu would help the pharaoh slay any gods who are bothering him. Khonsu would devour their souls and gain their strength. And Khonsu's like, oh, ancient history. I haven't devoured a soul in, what month is this, March? And he talks about he lives in Luxor? In Vegas?
Sounds about right.
Yep. And so they're going
A
to
god
play...
who likes gambling and is an Egyptian.
Yeah. So the entire premise is they are going to play this old Egyptian game with Khonsu. If they win, they're each person who wins gets an hour extra, and they get the time they need. And if they lose, he gets to devour their Ren, which is just a part of their souls. It takes their memories
It's like
and
their
identity.
name and identity, yeah.
And so, as we've discussed, mostly in the Bess episode, because this is what happens to poor Bess, he takes the fall. He does end up losing. And so Khonsu devours his Rin, but it allows Sadie and Carter to win enough that they get the time they need and they can move forward. DJ has already talked about how he doesn't think this is good game theory. So we've dissected that already. So let's.
It's rough because I don't remember what I said, but
It's mostly just you're like this is bad and best.
I get that.
Yeah.
I think what was the game they were playing again?
That I took. No,
I think
you
it
see-
had to do something with the game that they were playing, and I'm like, this is just a bad play. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I took out the sticky notes already. So I'm not.
Sad.
I can't go back. So let's just talk about Khonsu in ancient Egypt. So what do anyone off the top of their heads, what do you think Khonsu was associated with in ancient Egypt?
Death in the Moon.
Okay.
To put it bluntly, not associations you would expect. Like, you would think that for a society so dependent on the Nile, a moon god would be one of the highest of the pantheon, but the seasonal flooding was more important than the actual tides. So that aspect of Khonsu doesn't really get explored.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Moon. I mean, also DJ. Every single god was associated with the death in some way. You only get half
that's why
credit
I
for that
threw
one.
it in there, Darian.
Yeah,
so it
job.
was
No,
like
it's a
it was
very
an
safe
easy
shot
it was
when
an
comes to
easy
Egypt.
guess. Okay.
Good job. So, I like starting off with the iconography because I am going to do an episode at the end where I'm going to show DJ different images of Egyptian gods and see if he can identify them.
Ooh, pop quiz.
This is a fun game. It's going to be a video, I think. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, Khonsu was often depicted fully anthropomorphically as a young human man bound in mummy wrappings, but his arms were free. His hair was styled with the side lock of youth, so like that side. Y'all have seen Prince of Egypt,
Yeah.
the side ponytail that the kids
Yeah.
wear.
Yeah,
That's what the kids would wear.
we
That's
know-
how
we
they
know
wore
that.
their hair. Yeah, that's the one.
The side pony
and
that,
so that-
Deb wears in Napoleon Dynamite.
Kind
I
of,
think
yeah,
about
but
that
the
a
rest of
lot.
their head is shaved. You think about that a lot.
It's not a good hairstyle. I don't like it.
No, it's not supposed to be. But this is how we know he is specifically meant to be depicted as a young man because he's got the kid ponytail. He will often have the lunar disc resting in a crescent moon atop his head, and in his free hands, he's holding the crook and flail as well as the wasp staff. And in this phone, Khonsu would mostly be associated with youth. Unsurprisingly, he's got the kid haircuts. And when Khonsu was being more associated with the sky, he would appear as a adult man with the head of a falcon. This time wearing also the disc, the lunar disc and the crescent moon to specifically distinguish him from like Ra or Horus. And in this form, he would not be wrapped as a mummy and he would only hold the wasp staff specifically. Fun fact I learned, in the past, scholars argued that Khonsu's name came from the two syllables of his name, Ka, which meant placenta, and Nesu, which meant king, which would give us royal placenta. But today, scholars are mostly like, no, his name as a whole is probably coming from the verb kenes, which means to travel or cross over, so his name most likely means he who travels the sky. 'Cause moon.
Yeah, and a lot of his early representation, I believe, was always tied to the idea that he essentially was a traveler of the night, and he would protect those who were traveling at night, or at least make himself known to them.
Well, I couldn't. So that's actually a fun thing I was going to mention later, where I couldn't really find anything on that. And the one place is mentioned in Wikipedia. It also has a note next to it which says citation needed.
Love citation needed. Always.
And I was like, oh no, the fun thing isn't here. Now he is an underworld deity, obviously, as we mentioned earlier. And I want to cite this first because the underworld aspect of Khonsu is his oldest and earliest known element of this deity. He's referenced as early as the pyramid text, because of course he is. Most of the deities are. Fun reminder, because it's been a hot second since I've reminded us of like what that means. The pyramid texts were literally funeral burial rites carved into the stone of Old Kingdom pyramids. And the very first one we found that has it, the oldest one, is King Unas, who was the last king of the 5th dynasty, putting us at circa like 2345 BC. And the text itself is essentially a series of magical spells or like instructions that would allow the deceased pharaoh to successfully navigate the Duat and join Ra in the heavens. And I would like to read a few I want to call them verses, but when they're referencing the pyramid text, they're called utterances. So I'm going to read a few in which Khonsu appears, and also a couple around that, providing us a little bit of context of like what
Let's
is
have
going
a couple
on.
psalms with Khonsu.
Yeah, basically. And this specific translation I'm using is provided by Pyramid Text Online, which is a great website that looks like it's from 2002 because it is. In which they state they are using translation based on the work of Faulkner, Piankopf, and Speliner, which is not a great way to cite things, but I think what they've done on this website is no single site has a complete pyramid text, and I believe they have pulled from a bunch of different translations to try to provide one. So Unas is the pharaoh in question. I'm going to mention him a lot because it's about him. This is a pharaoh. He ruled Egypt. He's dead now. Unas is the bull of heaven who suffered want, who has decided to live on the essence of every god, who eats their entrails when they come to the Isle of Fire with their bellies full of magical charms. Unas is a well-provided one who has absorbed his spirits. Unas has appeared as the Great One, Lord of those who are at hand. He sits with his back turned to Geb. Unas it is who judges with he whose name is hidden on the day when the elder is being sacrificed. Unas is the Lord of offerings, who knots the cord, who prepares himself a meal. Unas is he who eats men, who lives on gods, lords of messengers who give instructions. Indeed, he who seizes by their hair, residing in Kianu, is he who lassos them for Unas. Indeed, the snake-lifted head is he who keeps guard over them for him, who keeps them back for him. Indeed, he who is over the red is he who binds them for him. Indeed, Khonsu, who slaughters the lords, cuts their throat for Unas, and takes out for him what is in their bellies. He is the messenger who sends out to chastise. Indeed, Sasemu cuts them up for Unas and cooks for him a meal out of them in his evening cookpots. Unas is he who eats their magic, who swallows their spirits. Their great ones are for his morning meal. Their middle ones are for his evening meal. Their little ones are for his night meal. Their old men and old women are for his fuel. So, you can see why this passage has come to be referred to as the cannibal hymn.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Basically, Khonsu, with the aid of some other powerful figures, I'm unsure if they are gods or demons here, to be perfectly honest. I guess it doesn't really matter. They help Unas consume both gods and men, allowing the deceased pharaoh to take on their life force to help him navigate a storm, ultimately allowing him to reach Ra in the heavens. And I desperately wanted some context for this passage. I really, really wanted some scholarly insight into, hey, what the fuck? Because it's kind of a lot, and honestly, a little more aggro than I think we would associate ancient Egyptian vibes. And so I did some digging, and then I did more digging, and then I found a Reddit thread, and I decided this wasn't good enough, so I did some more digging. And then I found a scholarly work from 1884 by British Egyptologist P. LePage Renouf, and far be it for me to quote a British white man from the 19th century, but this is what I've got for us today. Essentially, this gentleman was writing reflections on on some religious texts of the early Egyptian period, where he's writing his reflections and thoughts on the cultural role of these texts, which was the context I was desperately looking for. So, and I'm just going to quote him because he said it great. Those who see in all mythology a survival of ideas and practices of savages, and think it is a clever thing to explain by the habits of cannibals the myth of God who swallows all of his children, without troubling themselves with that portion of the myth which gives key to all the rest, how the children come to life again, will no doubt find a good deal to encourage them in the rudder and coarser matter contained in this early ritual. Even some of our best scholars have been seriously, but I think unnecessarily, shocked by some of the details. All mythology must be shocking to those who do not understand its language. What can be more horrible morally than the incest of a hero with his own mother? When the hero is the sun, Amun-Ra, and the mother is the sky, moral indignation is altogether out of place. There is a strange and, at first sight, incomprehensible jumble ideas in the ritual of the pyramids, of the belief, on one hand, that a man's life after death was of the same kind as before, and, on the other hand, of the notion that absorption into a divinity and of all things by the divinity. All the heroes of this ritual, being himself a god, is said to absorb, literally to devour, all of the gods. There is no fundamental idea of divine cannibalism. Anubis swallowing his father Osiris means nothing more than that the sun disappeared in the dusk. Hey, essentially, it's not meant to be understood as cannibalism, but like a really intense and thorough absorption of divinity into this oneself, specifically in this text, Unas, the deceased pharaoh.
I think the best way I can put it when I try to explain it to people is that as much as the text tries to sound explicitly about consumption, it's more about the idea of subsumption. You are essentially like acceding past what all of these powers combined can give you by essentially swallowing them into yourself.
Yes, right? Yeah, exactly that.
It is a cannibalism of power, not of like physical flesh.
Yes. And I think it's also like it's a poem. It's essentially that. It's also like meant to understand that there's like metaphor and wordplay and things that would be like homophones in the original language. And when you read a poem that talks like with Homer describing something as like rosy-fingered dawn, it's not literally like a human hand reaching down. It's like the tendrils of cloud at sunrise, right? Like it's a poem as far as I can understand it. And it's not meant to be understood literally. So as the scholar mentioned, like it is sometimes, oh, hey, that was kind of intense. That seems a little bit horrific, but maybe it's unnecessary to be so shocked by taking it at face value and not understanding the context of which it existed in.
Yeah, because like comparing it to how you point out Rosy Fingered Dawn, I always took the line about what was in their bellies not to be like the literal like consuming internal organs, but rather like the idea of like fire in one's stomach, almost like a fighting spirit.
Yeah,
like he's essentially robbing all of this fighting spirit in order to find his way through the Duat, because that is such an arduous undertaking to reach the heavens.
Mm-hmm. The reason I chose us like an utterance that was so far away from where Khonsu is mentioned is because on that utterance, like that I started off with, it cites, they come to the isle with their bellies full of magical charms. That what they are full of is full of magic and divinity. It's still spooky as hell, but maybe not quite as graphic and gory as it would appear at first glance. Now, in regards to the pyramid text, we have found lots of like examples of the pyramid texts in, other Old Kingdom burial tombs. But this cannibal hymn only appears in one other pyramid text, save for Unas's, and that would be the pyramid of Tati. But it would also reappear in the coffin text in that first intermediate period, this period of like general discord, not chaos, discord, just like a lack of like pharaonic rule between the Old and Middle Kingdom. And in these coffin texts, Khonsu would have an expanded rule. In addition to, helping individually go after some of these gods for the pharaoh, he was also described as the son of Shesmetet and was tasked with burning hearts with his fiery wrath. In spell 311, the deceased is actually transformed into Khonsu, and he is able to steal the god's magic powers to defend against hostile forces. He is referred to as Khonsu who lives in the hearts. So exactly as you said, AJ, I think like this version of the text, like in the coffin text, is more, I guess actually more specific to what is actually happening here. Maybe less poetic.
Yeah, I feel like this is the more like literal interpretation.
Literal.
Of what
that's the word I wanted.
Text was trying to say.
Yeah. Now I've divided my notes into like kind of three big subsections. The first one being underworld, because that's like the oldest and the first thing. And I really wanted to get ahead of the cannibal text situation, because that's one of the things that Rick Riordan like really used to like craft his take on Khonsu. So now let's talk about the moon. where does this come from? Why is he a moon guy?
Because you need a moon guy?
Listen, everybody needs a moon guy. So one of the god's epithets is Khonsu of the Sharp, which actually comes from the connection between the crescent moon and the sickle scythe of ancient Egypt. The earliest indication of Khonsu's lunar attributes appear in the coffin text, spells 197 and 195, where the deceased actually encounters Khonsu returning from the land of Punt, which is in the east, and obviously where the sun rises. So it's seeing as like Khonsu is returning from the land of the dawn, the land of the living. And this is kind of where we're starting to see the cyclical nature of the lunar phases being embodied by Khonsu as an Egyptian deity. Inscriptions in his temple at Karnak refer to him as, quote, the first great son of Amun, the beautiful youth, who maketh himself young in Thebes in the form of Ra, the son of the goddess Nubit, a child in the morning, an old man in the evening, a youth at the beginning of the year, who cometh as a child after he has become infirm, who reneweth his birth like the disk. And some traditions would even view the sun, like Amun-Ra, as becoming Osiris in death and then transforming into the youthful Khonshu at the dawn's rebirth. So a lot of his lunar moon elements seem to be very much anchored to that cyclical cycle of the phases of the moon.
And I'll also say that Punt, in a larger sense, when mentioned in Egyptian history, is largely like, well, historically it was just like an ancient trade partner that's somewhere around like modern day Eritrea. The way they write about it, they kind of consider it to be like a holy land.
Oh.
Like, Punt is where the gods come from. They don't have any reason for saying that per se, other than that is the sun comes from that direction and therefore that must be where the gods come from. But I do think the idea of seeing Khonshu emerge from the land where the gods come from, and more importantly, where the sun comes from, I do think kind of slowly you start to see where the gears start turning to where by the time of the New Kingdom, and we'll get to this when we get to it, he kind of turns from almost being just the moon god and the reflection of the end of the cycle to being almost a creator in his own right.
Damn, AJ, thank you. Yeah, and let's transition straight into that, because then we've got his whole role as a creation god. This season, we've been focused a lot on the Heliopolis Aeneid, which is like that set of 9 gods that Rick Riordan really focused on in the King Chronicles, so that's why this season has been focused a lot on them. Khonshu, not part of that group. However, by the New Kingdom...
Part of another Aeneid.
He would be part of a triad, specifically the Theban triad, where he was the son of the solar creation deity Amun and his wife, the mother goddess Mut. Now, the triad was particularly popular in the 18th and 25th dynasties, and in this embodiment, Khonshu himself became a sort of creator deity. They would have, like, the cosmology would go that Amunt would emerge first from the chaos waters as a serpent, and deposit his semen into the primordial waters in the form of a falcon egg. Then Khonshu would come first as a second serpent, being the son of Amun. He'd devour the semen or the egg, I'm not sure. And then he'd become pregnant, and then become a crocodile. And he traveled the waters to cleanse his mouth, And there he would hook up with Hathor, and then the city of Thebes would be born.
Just be clear for your viewers, that's not how it works in real life. Don't try that.
Don't try that. No. Well, this is not. Do not try this at home, y'all. I was about to say kids, but our podcast is rated E. Explicit. Kids shouldn't be listening to this. If you are,
please,
don't tell your
folks,
parents.
Do not try and give birth to the city of Thebes. It did not turn out well for the last person who tried.
Nope, doesn't work out. And also the 8 gods of the Ogdoad.
I believe it's pronounced Ogdoad. Yeah.
Ogdoad. Thank you, AJ. The Ogdoad then ascends to the island of flames where they create the sun god. So, like, this puts Khonshu almost, like, on top of, like, all of the other deities. That's Amun, then Khonshu, and then, like, everybody else. So he was
and I think,
a big deal.
like, I know Wikipedia points out Amun's epithets in particular relating to how Khonshu creates the Ogdoad, but I think that kind of doesn't really do the right justice to how important Khonshu was in the equation, because
Yeah, I
it's
thought
like
that was
father
so
of the
weird.
father of the Ogdoad. But
Yeah.
the one I really love, and Wikipedia does point this out for Amun, is the father of the ones who made you.
I like that. Yeah, the poetry in it of the ones who made you.
Which makes Khonshu essentially the father of the ones who made you. And I think that is just a really hard epithet for a god in its own right.
That is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, I like that a lot. It wasn't just Thebes where Khonshu was so, I put lightly revered, and actually what I meant to write was heavily revered. It's fine. I was a little sick this weekend. In New Kingdom Luxor, the god would be celebrated along with his parents during the New Year's festival. And I've got a little passage from Richard H. Wilkinson's The Ancient Gods and the Complete Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt, where it talks about how
The ancient gods and complete goddesses of Egypt.
nailed it, got it in one. So the cult statue of Khonshu was transported from his precinct at Karnak on a sacred bark, which was identified by the falcon's head on its prow and stern. The god passed along his own statue-lined avenue, running from his temple to Luxor, indicating his importance in this and other festivals. So they would take his big statue, put it on a boat, run it down the river, where it would pass a bunch of his other statues. And if that doesn't tell you this god was important to these people, I don't know what else will. So this is like I said, this is the New Kingdom now. And even here, as we start to see the sun set on the Egyptian kingdom, Khonshu's popularity, importance, reverence does not wane, because we get in the Ptolemaic period, the deity became very heavily associated with healing.
Yeah, and that's that. There are like 4 key titles. I think the ones you hear thrown around a lot are like Embracer, Pathmaker, Defender, and Healer. But the one I always lean to is Healer, because Ptolemy IV very famously loved giving himself epithets related to the gods. Beloved of Ptah, God manifest and gracious, avenger of his father, just as Horus avenged Osiris. But the one related to Khonshu was the beloved of Khonshu, who protects the king and drives away the evil spirits.
Yep. This came after Ptolemy IV claim. I just want to say the P so badly.
I know, it's so tempting, isn't it?
Ptolemy
Takes so
IV,
long to train yourself out of it.
So long. And here, shout out to Terry Pratchett in the 7th Discworld book, Pyramids. All of the characters who are in this like fantasy Egypt, all of their names start with the P and then T. So there's a character, her name is like Tracy, but it's spelled Ptrici or something. But I listened to it on audiobook. So I didn't know.
And then you actually read the book.
Joke. No, my buddy Dalton asked me about
You were
it.
about to be like, shout out to Pterodactyl.
Shout out to
We all know about this
Pterosaurs.
when we were children, but we still
The shout out to
also
Pterodactyl
run-
goes without saying, all right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but apparently Terry Pratchett would often, in like message boards and stuff, his username would be like P Terry.
That's
Um,
perfect.
That's good.
You know,
I like that.
Right, for a lot of
Good
things,
bit.
like instead of it being Terry P, it's P Terry, but it's Terry. And you know what? Sir Terry Pratchett's great. And instead of continuing to talk about Harry Potter, we should all just fucking read Discworld, okay?
Yeah. What's the title of this book? Because I would have read this like years ago if I knew about it.
I know, it's crazy. Here's the thing that I feel is that it's actually good that me specifically, did not discover the Discworld books as the weird middle schooler, high schooler. Because it would have been too much. I would have been insufferable, okay? It's like it couldn't, right? No friends. It would have been too much, too far beyond. But this one specifically
Good thing
is
that's not
called
a risk for me.
Pyramids.
I'm already
Okay.
insufferable.
All right.
But this one is Pyramids, and it is super fun. And folks who want to tap into the Discworld books but are worried about, there's 41 of these, and I don't want to get sucked into a multi-book like series. It's like, okay, Pyramids is utterly isolated. Nothing that happens here, none of these characters, nothing ever matters anywhere else.
Fantastic. I will take a look next time at my other job.
That covers basically again, these episodes are charcuterie boards. They're sampling, they're tasting menus of each of these Egyptian topics. But that covers basically the highlight reel, the most important beats of Khonsu that I think we're going to dive into today. Now, you all, my dear friends, my brother, dear listeners, maybe you're thinking, hey, wait, hold on though. Wait, there's a big thing. The whole thing that Khonsu does in the King Chronicles, why haven't you talked about that yet? Why haven't you mentioned the gambling with moonlight yet? And I'm like, well, dear listener, you may recall in the new
maybe
episode.
it wasn't Khonsu.
Because maybe it wasn't Khonsu, huh? You may recall in the Newt episode how I did come across this tale and revealed that, hey, this comes from Plutarch, who was a Greek guy in the year 70 AD, 100 years after Cleopatra has died, which is considered like formally the end of the Egyptian kingdom.
If I may, would you mind if I tell this? Because I just find the story hilarious.
How modern pop culture becomes part of ancient mythology.
Yeah. Yes. So I said at the time, we will cover this in more depth in the Khonsu episode because that's kind of what it is. And really, I should have covered it in the Newt episode or the Toe episode because Khonsu does not appear in this story. Tim, would you like to go on?
Okay. So the story begins, as many do, with Ra being annoyed at something. Although, in this case, it's a bit more justifiable than usual, because his problem is that Geb and Newt are horny as shit. They're banging constantly, and he's got to fly through all day being the sun. He can't deal with this crap. I mean,
he's got shit to do.
I mean, if you've had a roommate who gets a bit handsy with their partner, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, like a good roommate, Ra responds by making a passive-aggressive note, except in this case, because he's king, they actually have to follow it. So he makes a decree saying that Newt cannot give birth on any day of the year, which is 360 days. Apparently, the gods have no other form of birth control except abstinence.
That's like early ancient Egyptian. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know if they had lambskin yet.
The Romans ate a plant into extinction because they used it as birth control.
That's crazy. I mean, this is ancient Egypt, Darien.
Okay, let him go on.
So not giving birth is inconvenient, but really the problem is that Geb and Newt can't have sex. So I was like, all right, I got you. So he gambles with the moon, and in so doing, he wins and gains 1/70th of the moon's power, which translates to 5 days. So he uses that power to create 5 new days of the calendar, which don't exist in Ra's rule. So Newt can give birth to Osiris, Isis, Horus, Set, and Nephthys.
Yes. And then Ra says, damn it, you bypassed my rules, so now I'm going to send your dad, the heir, to keep you apart forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just rude. Now,
Divine horny jail.
Divine horny jail, no! So here's the thing. Tim, yes. Except, Tim, no. Because none of those figures actually appear in this fucking story.
Yeah.
Now, what you've given is the version that will be given when we're studying, like, it's Egyptian mythology, so we're getting the Egyptian gods' names in this story. But it's a lot like if you're doing the story of Arachne and Athena, or Medusa and Athena, and you say it was Athena because you're talking about Greek mythology, even though this story we have is from Ovid, who was Roman and used the name Minerva in his texts. And so Plutarch, in his text, the De Isaidi et Osiridi, which is his Isis and Osiris story, we talked a lot about this in our Osiris and Isis and Set episodes because Rick Riordan pulled a lot from this when he was creating that structure and those tales. Specifically, I'm using this version that was apparently translated by several hands, but corrected and revised by William W. Goodwin, Ph.D. Once on a time, Rhea, having accompanied with Saturn by stealth, the sun found them out and pronounced a solemn curse against her, containing that she should not deliver in any month or year, but that Hermes, afterwards, making his court to the goddess, obtained her favor, and in requital of which he went and played dice with the moon, and won of her 70th part from each day, and out of all of these made 5 new days, which he added to the 360 other days of the year. And these the Egyptians therefore to this day call the Epagomiani, or the super added days, and they observe them as the birthdays of their gods. So, what we have is a Greek philosopher and storyteller who decided to write Egyptian mythos, but used his gods in their place, which is a thing we've talked about. We've talked about how the deities, like the Greeks really associated like Isis or Aphrodite with Hathor. We talked about that pretty recently. So this is pretty common. But a couple things that I want to point to about why I have a really, really big problem with Rick Riordan choosing to use this story to influence his take on Khonsu, but more to the point, I feel like justify his visual interpretation of Khonsu. And that's where my real discomfort lies. It's not just that this is a Greek story, and that scholars generally believe that, yeah, maybe Plutarch had some Egyptian influences, like he did go to Egypt, we know that, but for how long, we don't know. And this was well after Egypt was its own autonomous kingdom. It was also well after Egypt was actually ruled by Egyptians. Because while the death of Cleopatra marks the end of the Ptolemaic dynasties, and when Rome conquers Egypt and becomes a part of Rome, the Ptolemaics were not Egyptian. They were outsiders. They were invaders. They were conquerors. And so Egypt had not functioned as its own like autonomous like culture outside of these other influences for a very long time. And so it is odd that he elected to use this very Greek story as such a heavy foundation for his Egyptian stuff, because a lot of it's not found in any other Egyptian text. Like some of it is, like Isis, Osiris, Horus, Set, like their challenges and obstacles, like that we find in other places that are Egyptian stories, but not this one here. And my point being that while Rhea is Nut and Saturn is Ra and Hermes is Thoth, the moon is not Khonsu. The moon is Selene. And it's explicitly Selene. In fact, he says that he one of her. So Rick Riordan taking this and putting Khonsu here is a big creative choice. And the reason I find it largely distasteful is because he uses it to justify portraying Khonsu as a Native American casino owner. And I don't like that one little bit.
Yeah.
That's the part that I find really icky. Because it's not so much, it's like one hand, yes, we want to see diversity and we want to see like opportunities to depict these divine figures as reflections of humanity.
God.
But yes, like I'm not, listen, you're not going to hear me bitching about black actors being cast in the Percy Jackson show. That's not what we're about. And if you are about that, you can go find your free podcast entertainment elsewhere.
You're not going to find me bitching about Native Americans being depicted as casino owners because, hey, some of them do, okay?
Right. And that is a true lived experience.
That's a thing. That's a thing that's happening here.
It's just really weird to take an Egyptian god and take a source from a Greek story to make an Egyptian god a Native American casino owner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially considering that arguably, even if you were to make that story more Egyptian, it wouldn't be Khonsu in that position. It would be Yah.
Yeah. Just not Khonsu. And so it's also upsetting that Khonsu is explicitly being depicted as malicious. And that makes it another layer of here's the
as being stoked to do
only,
this shit.
Yeah, only depiction of a Native American character we have gotten to date in any of these requirements, and maybe there's a minor character I'm missing, but Khonsu plays a pretty big role in this section here, and he is...
We had Piper at this point.
Oh, I fucking forgot about Piper. Wow, that is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. No, you're right. I forgot about... I'm so sorry, Piper.
Piper and her father. I don't remember her
Oh, wow,
name,
that is so embarrassing. You're so right. Yeah.
I can't believe
you're
you forgot
right.
about Piper.
No, you're
That's
right.
ridiculous,
No, you're
Darren.
right. Lost Hero had come out beforehand. Okay, fine. That doesn't make it better. It makes it a little less worse, but it doesn't make it better. But yeah, also...
Yeah, exactly.
So he uses a Greek story where Khonsu doesn't even appear, and to put Khonsu in to justify this like gambler aesthetic, specifically Native American. Also, the cannibalism.
I've seen a lot of fun
aspect.
gambler Egyptian aesthetics. I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, right. Didn't need to be there. Also, he really leans into the cannibalism of the cannibalism hymn, which we've already like talked about how that direct interpretation isn't accurate, and the tweaking it to be like the pharaohs could pay him to kill gods they didn't like, and then he'd eat them. And I'm like, the Khonsu's not the one eating the gods, the pharaoh is. And so to add that onto this depiction of Khonsu, who's being described as looking like a Native American, when cannibalism, like accusations of cannibalism have often been used to other like indigenous tribes
Not good.
and justify violence against them, it's bad. This is probably the worst one of all of the, hey, I don't love that Rick Riordan chose Christian propaganda to depict Freya. Hey, why did you say Nephthys was a water goddess when she's like super not? Hey, why did you claim that Hestia couldn't fight in the war because Hope and Hearth aren't combat worthy? Things I don't love are one thing. This one, I will full on say, was bad. This was a bad choice and a bad decision.
Even for the time. A lot of times I'll sweep a lot of things to be like, it's whatever. This was like, 2012? This was like the 10s. It was
and the fact that
not
it's
great to do this kind of representation.
Yes. And then bringing it back to around the fact that it is built on a myth that Khonsu isn't even in makes it all the worse.
Especially Piper and all he was trying to do there. Like, come on.
Right. So this was a note in there where I said Darien will do a little rant here because I'm really going to bring the mood down. And now I'm going to need Tim and AJ to bring it back up. Tell us about Moon Knight, boys.
Well, do you want to do this one first, or do you want to do the other one? Because the other one's not going to take as long, and we got plenty to say.
Listen, I'm not allowed to talk for a hot second. I need to cool down. So, DJ, unless Khonsu is in Smite...
Sadly, no.
So, gentlemen, take it away.
All right. So, here's the general vibe we have going in. From our last episode, we said, Odin sucks, derogatory. Khonsu sucks, affectionate.
Twist.
That is a very good way to put our initial reaction to Khonsu.
God, Khonsu, what a bastard.
So basically, everything we've been talking for the last hour, just disregard that because almost none of it is present in Moon Knight.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to read this insert, Khonsu describing himself, and it'll give you an idea of the vibe we're going with here. I am Khonsu, greatest god of the great gods. I, who am called Pathfinder, Embracer, Traveler, Defender, and I am freed. No longer do the Aesir chain me in shining Asgard. No longer am I weakened, imprisoned, kept powerless. I am returned to my own realm, my place of power. I am reunited with my children, my fists, and now I send them to holy war. And that's from Moon Knight Fist of Khonsu number 0. So, yeah. Basically, the only thing Marvel Khonsu has in common with the actual Khonsu of myth is that he's the Egyptian god of the moon. And actually, even that's debatable because some entities have implied that, he just kind of hangs out there. He might be something else entirely.
Ooh.
Outstanding. Love to see it. Love when that happens.
You ever think about the fact that Marvel keeps doing the thing where Asgard and the Egyptian gods are at war?
It does happen quite a bit.
It happens like way more than anybody cares to talk about.
Damn.
Black Knight and Thor have only appeared together outside of Avengers books 3 times. One of them was to fight Anubis and Asgard together. One of them was Black Knight just being super depressing and everybody being like, wow, this nerd fucking sucks. And then the third one was the Black Knight almost killing Thor.
Sounds about right.
Comics are great.
They got a lot going on.
Yeah. So, Khonsu in Marvel is depicted as a guy wearing traditional Egyptian clerical robes, but he's got a big bird skull head that just kind of floats above his neck. It's not even really attached to his body.
It's fucking great.
I love
for real.
It's such a phenomenal design.
I love
it. It really is incredible.
We talked about when we finally got to watch Moon Knight and how fucking fun it was and how delighted I was by. I forgot one thing. So, I skipped a thing in the underworld. I forgot to tell y'all. So, for a while, Khonsu was the one that would devour the hearts, right? Like, that was his thing for a while. And then by the New Kingdom, he lost that job, and Amut was doing it. And I thought that was a funny Moon Knight comic thing. So, I forgot.
Nice.
Not so much. Like the show did take a bit from the comics, but nothing directly ripped from it aside from like the episode where Mark's in the mental hospital and doesn't know what's going on. That is lifted directly from Jeff Lemire's run. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, but Twaret's not.
Yeah, that was cool. I love that. I love learning that on episode we were recording that Tara
Scarab, dude, come on.
were invented for the show. That made me so happy.
That's huge.
she was, and she's been getting more prominently, which is good because I like how they do her in the comics. It's been good.
Perfect. But this is about Khonsu.
Yes. So, in Marvel, the ancient gods tend to empower mortals with aspects of their power to guard over their purview. In Khonsu's case, he empowers what becomes known as the Moon Knight to watch over the travelers of the night.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So basically, if you travel under Khonsu's sight, which is the moon, and you are an aide, his fist is obliged to help you. And he's been doing this for...
What did they do if it's a new moon? They just kind of boned?
What if it's a what?
A new moon.
When the moon's just not there anymore?
Some writers have taken that Khonsu's power ebbs and flows with the phases of the moon, but basically, it's just sort of a catch-all that if you travel by night, you are under Khonsu's protection.
All right.
Yeah, because, I mean, even in Egyptian mythology, there is some variance in the way Khonshu is depicted visually to reflect the idea of not being seen during the new moon and rather being an invisible presence.
Mm-hmm.
And, being Khonsu's fist sucks.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the
pleasant.
shittiest jobs in Marvel.
Because, I mean, generally, it's being a Moon Knight is the kind of surface level vigilantism you would expect from how it's generally depicted. What they don't tell you is that this is one of the cases where they actually try to justify character resurrections. That if a Moon Knight dies, Khonshu can just bring him back.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there's no getting out of the job until Khonshu finds somebody he likes better.
Yeah, but when he brings you back, it fractures your mind. So every subsequent time you die and are resurrected, you become less of yourself until eventually you just end up as a shambling mummy who spends all their time in Khonshu's hall, and then you can get summoned by the current fist.
That's what happens in Age of Sigmar Warhammer to the Stormcast.
Because usually the way you become a fist is...
My God, that is how that works, isn't it?
Yes!
I had never thought about that parallel until you just said that.
That's great.
I do a podcast about Age of Sigmar. It's called Badman's Orbit. Go listen to that one too.
So when a person dies under Khonshu's sight, which is to say at night, he can choose to empower them as their fist, although the mortal does have the option to say no, and he can't actually force them to do it, which is good, because if Khonshu could force people to do it, he absolutely would.
Oh, yeah. Khonshu would not hesitate at all to just start conscripting people when they die at night.
He's been doing this for thousands of years until eventually he comes to the Moon Knight we follow in the comics, Mark Spector, who was a former CIA operative turned mercenary who died when he was on a mission to raid this archaeological dig. He went against his superior, he was shot, and he died under a statue of Khonshu, which is how he became the Moon Knight.
Of course.
Outstanding.
Khonshu's got nothing if not a sense of drama.
Yeah.
But okay, hold on. But
like
it doesn't. He didn't have to be in Egypt under a statue of Khonshu, right? Like
No.
if he had just
No,
died
he
at
absolutely did
night
not. It's just narratively convenient.
just so
Khonshu specifically saw that and went, "Yeah, this is going to be perfect."
This exactly.
Like,
Even
this
if he
is pretty
wasn't, he's
fucking
like
epic.
this guy.
I can't pass this up.
Yeah, I think this is going to be epic.
Okay, please go on.
Khonshu and the Fist can have a contentious relationship. Khonshu generally doesn't release people from their service unless like they really fuck up, and he's like, you know what, fuck this. You're more so. Actually, he basically doesn't release you from a service until you die, so you're kind of stuck with him.
But even then,
yeah. Like in one of the recent comics, he's Mark asked, "Am I dead?" And he's like, "No, if you were, I could release you and find someone better, you idiot."
Aww. He's such a shitty boss.
He really is.
The crazy thing is, Khonshu wasn't always a shitty boss to Mark. Back when he was originally created in the 80s, Khonshu was generally pretty helpful. He's just like, I don't think Mark is ready for the smoke of me revealing everything I've got.
Yeah, he used to be a lot more upstanding in his early appearances, where he took his job the spirit of his job a lot more seriously than the letter. These days he plays more into this is my law, this is my domain. You will answer for what I'm asking.
You get tired of defending people for so long when everybody around you is an idiot and you have to talk to Mark Spector for 20 years.
You know what? Yeah, fair.
You know what? In Khonsu's defense, that is a good point.
Because here's where I was at when I found out that the whole bit. Again, we've only watched the Moon Knight show, but the bit was like you get superpowers. The suit is super healing. You get to do cool stuff in the superhero world where you know the Avengers exist, and also your job is explicitly to punish people who harm others in the dark of night. I'm instantly like, fuck yeah, sign me the fuck up. I don't believe in capital punishment, but I do believe in vigilante justice, and I've got an Egyptian god on my side. I'm fucking all in on this deal. And I was like, wow, Khonsu must be a really shitty boss if Mark is so fucking sick of him. If he wants out so bad when this is like absolutely like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. I'm absolutely here to punish people. In the name of the moon, I will punish you. No, it must be because your boss sucks.
A lot of time what Khonsu feels he is owed as a god and conflicts with Mark's own sense of justice. Like, put a pin in that. We'll get back to that in a minute. So, okay. One of the more interesting things about Khonsu
I want the
is
man's
that
spleen. I'm hungry. I want the man's spleen. Khonsu, I'm not going to do that. Put it in the jar. Put it in the chronic jar. It's fine. I'll just do the spleen. Get it through his nose. We're doing this the original way. Here's the hook. Do it, Spectre. Spectre, I will pull out Jack. I'll do it. Now, that motherfucker will do it, okay? Or Jake,
is he right?
That's his name.
Is DJ right? Is it the spleen? Does the bird want his spleen?
He might.
I have no idea.
It just depends on the mood he's in.
The
spirit of that was very accurate to Mark and Khonsu's relationship, however. That was pretty much exactly on the mood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. That's what I saw during Moon Knight, the show, so... It's like, I'm not gonna fucking do this. Do it!
Break his neck! Sorry, please go on,
great.
Tim.
The idiot's back.
So, one of the more interesting aspects of Khonsu is, for the majority of his character history, it was actually ambiguous if he was real.
Ooh.
Because the only person he would ever directly interact with is Mark or one of his other personalities. And because everyone else in Marvel knew that Mark had DID, it was always a possibility that Khonsu was just another what's the word I'm looking for?
Personality.
Or a facet of that psychosis?
Exactly. If Khonsu was something that existed only in his mind and he just kind of went for it.
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you ask, we no longer have such ambiguity due to a Avengers story from a couple years ago.
Oh, this is recent.
Wow.
Yeah, this was from the 2018 run. I believe these issues came out.
I want to say the issues in question came out in 2019, like late 2019.
Oh, damn.
You would be surprised, looking at the broad strokes of Marvel, how much we know in mainstream pop culture only got written in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it's actually kind of impressive.
Like Winter Soldier, the comic,
popular.
came out like a year and a half before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyway. So a big running thread in this Avengers run is building up Mephisto as the big bad. And so to highlight that, we get a story where Mark, he's fucking done with Khonsu. He's like, you know what, fuck this shit, this guy sucks, I'm done with this. So he goes to the cult of Khonsu, he's like, look, where is he? I need to talk to him. And he's like, and we'll take it to him, but you're not going to like what you find. And Khonsu's like in fetal position horror. He's like,
oh shit.
He's coming. We're dead. And he's like, oh shit. I don't know how to react when I see you like this.
Yeah, that would also be a hard place to be.
But Khonsu saw what Mephisto was going to do to the world, and he's like, not on my watch. This ain't fucking happening.
Oh, good.
So he tells Mark, okay, you and we're gonna stop this. But you're not going to like it. Go take over the world.
He wants him to what?
Go take over the world.
And
actually, it's super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, no, it is remarkably easy for Mark to just casually take over the world in Khonsu's name.
He steals a couple of powers that are like this primordial force that existed for millions of years. It was this whole big thing this run. But he steals the Iron Fist. He steals the powers of the Sorcerer Supreme. He tries to steal the Black Panther, but it can't be taken, so he just kidnaps T'Challa.
He just kidnaps T'Challa. He kidnaps a fucking world leader.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
he
imagine
steals
Jasper was
Mjolnir.
just cool with that.
And he steals Mjolnir on the justification that, your hammer is actually made out of moon rock.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, technically.
It actually is.
It's technically made out of moon rock, so he can hold it.
Sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
In Marvel
it was
Rivals,
some
he's
real
also one of the
cosmic
only
level
people that can
bullshit.
pick it up when it shows up on the ground.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Mhm.
And then he gives
Oh my
he gives
God.
he gives Mjolnir to Khonsu, and Khonsu goes to where Mephisto's being held in Las Vegas, and just kills Mephisto.
Outstanding.
Wait, what? That's it?
Yeah,
and he basically tells Mark, okay, now pound the ashes and spread them to the furthest fucking corners of the galaxy so we can't come back. And Mark's like, that's not gonna be enough. Yeah, I know, but it buys us time.
We're buying time, Mark.
It delays him. He's the devil. He's not. You can't kill him. We're just.
Of course you
delaying
can't kill
it.
him, Mark. I'm not stupid like you are. We're just buying ourselves time, so hopefully we're both rid of each other by the time he comes back, and I want to have somebody going, oh, but that's not going to kill him. No shit.
Was it a cool
I'm
fight?
your god, do your job.
It wasn't even a fight. He just summons Mjolnir and puts a gigantic hole in Mephisto's chest. He's just dead.
Just an execution.
Yeah. The god has, like a god. Like, I know Thor's a god, but I feel like not like
A god.
Khonshu's a god.
Yeah,
You know?
that's actually one of the things I
Thor's just
find
an
more fascinating
alien.
about Khonshu is when you see like Asgardians in Marvel, their godly feats, while impressive, are very tangible. Like
Yeah.
smashing each other through plants and shit, flying at supersonic speeds. Yeah, it's all really cool, but it's basically just more powerful versions of stuff other people can do in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are essentially
Carol
just super
Danvers can do that.
Yeah.
The best way I can put it is that Asgardians are seen by humans as gods because of the nature in which they came to Earth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But in reality, Asgardians are just like Marvel's Kryptonians.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The way Khonshu and a lot of the other gods are depicted is a lot more arcane, a lot more mysterious. Like you can just will things into existence and do things that are just fundamentally impossible.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
So
That's pretty tight. So this was the thing that confirmed that, like, no, Khonshu is legit. Mark
Yeah.
Spector is legit talking to an Egyptian god.
yeah, and then we cut to 3 weeks later, and New York has been transformed into like a future Egyptian city. It's got like pyramids and shit now.
Khonshu, you can't be doing this.
That's the worst. That's the worst way to build a structure. It's so
Yeah.
inefficient for size and
horrible.
space. Wait, there's a
But
reason we don't build pyramids.
Khonshu has an aesthetic. You're not getting it, Darien. Khonshu has an aesthetic.
Yeah. I'm sorry. They had obelisks. They knew how to do this kind of shit. Okay.
We can just build very big obelisks. We don't have to build fucking temples. They had temples also. We don't have to build one pyramid. You can have one pyramid.
The Empire
As a
State
treat,
Building. Hey, guess
Khonshu.
what? That's an obelisk. The Chrysler Building.
an
That's just an obelisk.
It's just an obelisk. They're just obelisks. Just convince them they're obelisks. It's just, here's the thing. Of course, we don't build pyramids anymore. They're
It takes up
awful
too much
design.
space.
They take too much space. Yeah, we could do it. We don't because we have fucking skyscrapers. This is my rant to the fucking pseudo-archaeology.
But
crowd
it
that
looks
doesn't
cool.
Yeah. Why do you think there's not another
don't
Luxor
get the
or
aesthetic.
fucking Bass Pro Shop, dude? Like, it's ridiculous.
So
listen. Okay.
yeah, so basically after that, Khonshu then spends most of the story like multiverse versions of Mephisto keep showing up in his temple, and he just keeps killing them over and over again.
Yeah, he is playing Wacko Mephisto for most of the rest of the story.
Okay, did
Nice.
Jane Foster have Mjolnir at this time or no? Who had Mjolnir?
No. Thor had Mjolnir, and when he went to fight Khonshu, he went to fight him on the moon.
Oh, well, that's very silly.
Yeah.
Thor
So,
is very strong. He is not exceptionally bright.
yeah. So
That's
he's
also
so Thor spends most of the story imprisoned on the moon.
Understandable.
But yeah, eventually the Avengers get the powers back, and they overpower Khonshu.
Hey, is this panel real of Moon Knight not being able to say Mjolnir?
It's probably a Moon Knight core edit.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
that's almost certainly Moon Knight Core. But Moon Knight Core
Oh well.
is at this point basically canon Moon Knight because like so many Moon Knight writers find it so funny that they keep slipping in Moon Knight Core references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually the Avengers get the powers back and they
Fucking
defeat
bitch,
Khonshu.
You owe me money.
And so
I think that's a real one, isn't it? That's not a Moon Knight
No.
Court. That's real.
No, that's Moon Knight Court. That is like
okay.
the original Moon Knight Court edit.
So Khonsu gets imprisoned in Asgard, and he actually stays there for quite a while. Like they started a new Moon Knight series, and he only got released within the last year.
Mm.
Wow.
How does Mark feel about all that?
Well, in the intervening years when Khonsu was imprisoned, we learned that actually there are two Fists of Khonsu.
Oh.
Okay.
The other one being known as his Hunter's Moon.
Oh.
And the problem being that while Mark has a, at best, contemptuous relationship with his god,
Uh-huh.
Hunter's Moon, man named Dr. Bader, he's all in on it. Like
he fully committed to the bit, drank the Kool-Aid, whole 9 yards.
He loves Khonsu, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to turn it into a zombie, and I'm honored to do that.
Oh, see, I wouldn't be that way, though. Like, yeah, I'd be all in on, like, this is a great gig. I totally support it. But I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. Like, you're my boss, though. I get to quit. I live in a right-to-work state. I can quit whatever the fuck I want. I have no loyalty.
Khonsu doesn't live in a right-to-work mind state, Darien.
That's very true.
It's all fun and games until you say that to him, and then he just casually manifests the right to work, just disappearing. He successfully gets legislation passed at record speed just by waving his hand.
In the
He
state
would.
of Idaho? Shocking.
Crazy.
God, does it really take an Egyptian god to get legislation passed around here?
Probably.
It's at this point when Jed McKay starts writing Moon Knight that it actually leans more in. It actually starts leaning into the fact that, technically speaking, Moon Knight isn't a superhero. He is a priest of Khonshu sent to abide his tenets in this mortal world. How Mark chooses to do that is often not totally congruous with Khonshu's teachings, but he has earned his office. Like, there's one very good scene where there's a storyline about this cabal of vampires trying to take over New York. So Mark just strolls into this big conference, and he's like, "Hey, sup? I just wanted you to see me before I kill all of you." And they're like, "What the fuck are you gonna do? There's like 20 vampires in this room, and you're one guy." So he has some of his associates out the sprinklers, and let me find the exact quote just so I can say this right, because it is amazing. "You're not listening. They never listen. I'm not a superhero. I'm a priest. And I consecrate this water to the service of Khonshu, that miserable old bastard. So it's holy water, and the entire room of vampires explodes."
Oh, you know what? It's so fascinating to know that it doesn't have to be like Christian God holy water.
No. Basically, as long as it is divinely blessed, it counts.
Tight. That's some fucking cool comic book bullshit.
There's actually a couple of vampires in Marvel that they've tried, and Christian iconography doesn't work on them because they're too old. They predate Christianity.
I also love that. I also love when, like, the crosses and stuff don't work and the vampire's like, I'm Jewish. Like, that means nothing to me.
Yeah, Marvel comic books love dealing with the idea that as much as we see, like, Christian religious symbols as being like the antithesis to vampires, it's really just any form of, like, in the way that vampires in a literary sense serve as like the subversion of creation and the cycle of life and death.
Yeah.
Basically any sort of act of creation or destruction in a divine sense would be enough to kill them. Like, yes, holy water can kill them, but so can a sword like Excalibur, because the Lady of the Lake said, yeah,
sword,
this wound will stay on anybody who takes it. And the way Dracula dies at the end of MI13 is somebody just bisects him with Excalibur, and it's like, yeah, you're not coming back from that.
But Khonshu becomes relevant again during the Blood Hunt event, which is where vampires take over the world, and they in fact cause a total eclipse. Like, there's no sunlight, no moonlight, so they figured, fuck, we need the moon. Fuck, we gotta go get Khonshu out.
Oh no, we have to jailbreak Khonshu!
Yeah, and they're not happy about it. Because Mark is actually dead at this point. He had died during the solo series, and because Khonshu's in prison, he can't resurrect him.
Oh no! Hey, comic books are the best.
So they let him out, but then after the event ends, Khonshu has a problem. After Mark died, someone else had claimed to be Moon Knight, and he does not care for that.
Oh,
no.
Someone's running around with, oh no, but Khonshu,
you do not impersonate my fucking servant on this world and get away with it. Mark, shoot that guy.
Yeah. It quite literally turns into the Mark. We're gonna have to kill this guy. Damn.
And Mark doesn't want to do it because the guy was a friend who was trying to honor him. But he eventually realizes, okay, there's no way out of this. I got to do it. So he kills the guy, and then he has Dr. Bader restart the guy's heart. So he killed him, but he didn't stay dead. And Khonsu wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, well, fuck off, Khonsu.
This is a good one. This is my last passage, but this is a really good one. Do you think yourself clever, my son? I've never been clever, but I've always been obstinate. I won't murder for you, Khonsu, and you can't make me. You owed me a life, and you got one. The imposter Moon Knight is dead, never to return. This is not what I wanted. I'm not concerned with what you want, old bird. A sacrifice to a god is always symbolic. The imposter's skin hangs pinned in the place of those who hold me, and therefore you, in terror. I have satisfied your demands. I have paid my debt. And before you threaten Reese or any of the Midnight Mission again, think about your own debt to them, father. You owe them your freedom. Moon Knight is dead. Long live Moon Knight.
That's tight as hell. Comics are fucking great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just wish I knew where to start.
I would just recommend starting from the 2021 Jed McKay series and reading onward from there. They changed the run a couple times, but it's basically all one story.
Do it.
Listen, the only reason I read Invincible is because I knew exactly where to start, and everything happens within this run of Invincible. Sure, there's some side stories, and I was not super stoked about the fact that there were side stories that I cannot get a compendium of.
Okay. So you don't want to read like Marvel comics. You don't want to read DC comics. You need to be reading like other
just read the
indie comics.
I know.
Yeah, that just has one world, one line. You're not going to have different artists or not different authors flip flopping around. Just you're not going to have a fucking publisher
unpleasant.
Decide to kill your favorite character in someone else's fucking book for the
story.
fucking
insane.
Wow. Wonder how that feels.
Happened.
Subtweeting Zeb Wells here.
Fucking Zeb fucking Wells. You thought I forgot? Wells, you thought I forgot?
That's insane. I will still be like, what the fuck?
I always find it funny
so
how
bad.
many different people on like different orbitals of the comics world have such never-ending beefs with Zeb Wells. Zeb Wells has pissed everybody off at this point.
It's actually kind of amazing.
I have people I know that have never read a comic in their life that know just enough about what Zeb Wells did to Spider-Man that they're mad about it.
Listen, I'm out, and it's like I'd be mad about that alone, but like
Zeb
on
Wells was
principle
also the
of
guy
it.
who did like the weird alternate timeline where Mary Jane ends up with like a weird self-insert of the guy, right?
Oh god,
that is exactly
that
what
was
the thing is.
so fucking crazy.
But yeah, here it is. If you want to start with Moon Knight, this is the one to start with, and just continue onwards from where it is here.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
We have to admire the honesty, at least.
Yeah. So that's about all we got for Khonsu. He's just so much fun to read, and I have to imagine he's a lot of fun to write.
He's a manipulative
yeah.
rat bastard, and he's literally never, ever any better than like the super conniving rules lawyer type.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see.
And that gets really funny when you mix it with the fact that he has a god complex because he's an actual god.
Right? Yeah, you
Love
can't
to
even
see
fault
it.
him for that. Like he is right.
Because he's like, well, yes, this is exactly what the rules state. You made the rules. I know this.
Yeah, so that's why I know what they say.
That's why I know what the rules state, asshole.
Sorry, Mark. I've changed the terms of the deal. I can do that. I'm God.
Okay, so as Tim mentioned earlier, there is one. While we don't have anything for Smite, there was one other Khonsu mention in pop culture, and it is the Night at the Museum franchise.
Oh, let's go.
Which is just a real weird one to talk about the Egyptian
I love that
representation of.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Hey, at least they had an Egyptian guy play the Egyptian guy.
That's true.
Shout
One of
out,
them.
dude.
Yeah.
Remy
Yeah,
Malek.
one of them. Well,
I love that guy.
So in the first one, the Night at the Museum, the golden tablet of the pharaoh Akhmen-Ra, who is the mummy played by Rami Malek. Love him. It's the thing that is responsible for bringing all the exhibits back up to life. And it's just kind of written off as like, weird Egyptian magic, don't worry about it. And we don't, because Teddy Roosevelt has a crush on Sacagawea.
That's
So
fucking
we don't
goated.
worry
And
about
Teddy
it.
Roosevelt, Robin Williams. We love the guy.
Yeah. So in the third
We got
movie,
Owen
we
Wilson too, dude. Shout out. Love that guy.
So in the third movie, Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, it's revealed that the magic of the tablet comes from Khonsu. and it's powered by the moonlight, and the tablet is running out of magical energy, and it needs to be brought back into the moonlight to recharge it. And I don't know. I never saw the third one, but so I was delighted when it popped up, and I was like, "What? It's Khonsu?"
Because it's like missing its corners. The corners are in another museum.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. That's why they end up at the British Museum. Yeah, it seemed.
It ends up staying there, and I think Rami Malek's character stays there as well as.
Yeah, they decided to leave him there so he could be with his parents.
Yeah, it's really
I read
funny.
the plot. It was really sweet. Lancelot has just a horrible time. The poor guy.
Those movies are so much fun, dude. I
Awful,
fucking love those
awful
movies.
luck
I
for
love-
Lancelot. That's like the
Yeah.
one thing I remember is he's just having the worst night of his life
Yeah.
in that
Worst
movie.
night
I love
ever.
those movies, dude.
Museum movies are fun.
They're just
They
a
are.
blast.
Yeah, they're just good time. But yeah, that was the other pop culture thing with Khonsu that I could bring to the table. Is that
Outstanding.
it's moon magic.
Yeah, always love moon magic.
And that's our
I got nothing
episode.
else.
Yeah.
Tim, AJ, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you so very much for. It's been over a year since we had you last.
It has
Last
been, yeah.
time-
Really?
yeah. But it's only been 21 episodes.
That feels like a more accurate frame of reference for my mind.
Yeah.
It happens.
At this point, I have hit a point in life where I entirely base my schedule on time between recordings, which means
For
the
sure.
amount Tim and I have recorded in the last couple of weeks has like completely shattered my sense of time. I feel like it
Oh,
should
because
be
your big
April.
secret project? The
Not
big
even that.
project?
We just ended up doing a lot of the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was when I was down there. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of
We're like
lot of
way,
episodes for me
way,
to listen to.
way ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Hey, good
There you
job.
go.
It just means
Alright.
now I think it should be like April.
All right, and let's talk about it in more detail. Tim, AJ, where can the listeners find you?
Yes,
You can't.
you can't find
leave,
AJ,
so
but
Paul.
find us on all major podcatchers. Standby line. You can, if you want to check out some bonus stuff, you can find us at patreon.com/standbyline podcast. Some of our online presence has diminished a bit over the last few months because of certain people turning certain places into very bad places.
Every social media in existence, but
Yep.
you know, we deal with that at certain levels according to certain platforms.
Links to the Standby Line is going to be in the show notes. Go listen. Go bully Tim and AJ into posting more pictures of their theme park adventures on their social media. Because, like, why have a theme park podcast?
I
if
would
not
have
to let
posted the
people live
picture
vicariously?
yesterday, but this just
I'm
did
not there
let
most
me
of the time.
back.
It feels like you are. Thank you again so much for your patience of being on this, for still being willing to be on it a year later after you asked about it.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
been looking forward to it so much. And dear listeners, we will be back in your ears on Tuesday, February 10th to talk about Anubis. This time, I promise, for realsies. And until then, don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus.
Be more Khonsu.
No!
No.
Muses of Mythology is created and hosted by Darien and DJ Smart. It's edited by Darien Smart. The show is produced by Darien and DJ Smart, as well as
Tim O'Connor.
The Crystal Conman. Nicholas Miller. Jeffrey Babbitt.
Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain.
and our cover is by Ryan Kapoka. You can find them on Instagram or through the link in our show notes. Want more Muses of Mythology? Support the show on Patreon. Join the Patreon for free for access to outtakes and bloopers from our main feed episodes, or for $5 a month, you can enjoy our Bunker 9 bonus episodes every other week. Get more at patreon.com/Muses of Mythology.
You can also support the show by leaving a review at lovethepodcast.com/Muses of Mythology, or tell a friend why you love the show.
Don't forget to check out all of our episodes and episodes transcripts at musesofmythology.com.
Thanks for listening.